Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pre-market live show. It is Monday, May 19th, and let's look at the heat map. But first, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody this morning? And it is looking just like we thought. There you go. It's a nice red market right there. And Laptop Travel said the market seemed to be taking the Moody's downgrade much better than I expected, and it's a red one, but it isn't the worst market ever. So let's look at it real quick. And there you go. The SPY is down a little bit, but like you said, it does not look terrible right there, but it is down. And NCNA might be worth a play right there. We'll see. And let's see, that one is setting up right there, and we were looking at it. Look at that nice hookup. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But first, let's do our Jolie's jumpers. And good morning, everybody. So welcome on. And let's get rolling here. ASST. And that one was rolling last week. Let's see what this asset entities, it's just kind of pulling back at the moment. I would look for that to try to pull back and then get set back up to roll off, though, like we know that they've been doing. And that would be a good one there. BDSX. It's trying to run up again. It doesn't look like it's going to make it, but it was trying to run up there Friday, and it is going to bounce back down. We do not like we like the ones curling up. They used to be the greatest, but the ones rolling off seem to be a little better right now in that dev stream. Here we are, DEVS, and this thing looks like it's going to try to. Let's see what it's doing this morning. It's just sitting there. I think it might come back down and roll up, like I was just saying, and that thing could run up even higher when it gets rolling off. So we do have to keep an eye on them after they run up, not like before they'd run up and be done. Now they pull back and roll off the MACD and go even higher. So there's another great opportunity usually. And ENVAB, this was running up there Thursday, and that looks like it is Friday's date. Yeah, that is that. Wait, no, that is today's date. I'm sorry, that's today. So it was running up there Friday, and then today 151 to 180 and back to 129, and that 4 o'clock in the morning is crazy, guys. I mean, just look at all the action that goes on is insane. And KDLY did run up last week. We thought it would, and now it's just hovering around that top. We'll have to see if it can push its way back in and really get cruising. So we'll watch that to see what it wants to do. And K West Microsystems, and this one, it looks like it's rolling up, trying to run up. And I remember this one ran recently, and we were looking at it. And let's see if that's today. It is today's date, and it appears that it is getting set up right there, that KWE and Movano or whatever, move, MOVE. We were just looking at it last night. There you go. Look at that move. And it was on the scanner. I know it did. It ran up Friday, I remember, because we were looking at it last night, 102 to 210, and then it closed at 170. And then today it went 156 to 173 and back to 136. So that was a pretty quick move right there. And let's take a look at NXTT real quick and see what's going on with that next technology. And that one may get set up. You can see it getting based out right there, at least trying to, as it's going to try to set up here. And another one that has the potential to roll off and go a little wild if it does. So they are pretty good after they run up and then pull back and roll back off. SXTC is China Pharmaceuticals, or China SXT Pharmaceuticals. And this one, let's see what it's doing this morning anyway. And that does look like today, 194 to 247. It's at 155. It is trying to get set up right there. So we'll be watching that and the China ones and this TAOP we looked at last night, as a matter of fact. And let's see what it wants to do. It did look like it was trying to keep some momentum. It's staying over to 50 right there at 26, 27 cents, 26 and a half now. And it doesn't look bad. It does appear it's trying to set up right there. I would just look for any pullback if it does. And that interactive strength TR and R, that one was rolling up last week. It was up over $1, and it doesn't look bad right there. Let's just take a better look at it. And it ran up, it looks like this morning, to 128. and it may come back down into that channel, but gets set back up, and it doesn't look bad right there. And there you go at your Jolie's jumpers. Thank you, Asian Jolie, and I hope you are feeling all better. And here we go with our laptop lowdowns real quick. Let me just take a quick look at these. NCEW, and that one is coming down to the bottom right there. We've looked at this one. It's that Hong Kong one. Ran up really well, and we'll be keeping an eye on that one this week. And AREB, that was a big runner before. And let's see what it's doing now. If it's going to get set back up, it's right down there at the moment. AREB. And it could pull back a little bit more right there, and then we'll watch to see if it wants to get set back up. But that was a monster of a runner. And FFAI, this one is getting set up. We looked at it last night. Check this bad boy out at 115, and that is a good old Nader pick right there. IMNN. Here we go with this one, and that one's way down, but appears like it could be trying to curl back up. IMNN. And let's see. Yeah, we'll have to take a look. That looks like it could have bottomed out there on Friday. So we'll be having to take a look at IMNN this week. And IOTR, we've been talking about this one, IO3. It's still in the basement right here. It's a Singapore company, and it appears that it's getting set up. I mean, it doesn't appear that it wants to go further into the basement. So we will watch it. There's not a whole lot of data here, but it doesn't look too bad right there for IOTR. And KLRS, Colaris Therapeutics, and this one had some earnings the other day and started to curl up, and it went up, but as it's hitting that MACD, it looks like it's going to bounce back down. So that pattern hasn't left yet, and it's quite impressive. Some of them have made that quick turn, come down and then curled right back up real fast, and that happens sometimes. But other than that, we do know that pattern. And Lobo right here was running around last week, but appears like it's still pretty bullish right here. So we'll have to take a look at it and see what it's going to do when it rolls off right there. And that's LOBO and Lucy right here. Let's see what Lucy is up to. Innovative Eyewear, and she was running up last week, I remember. And good old Lucy right here. Let's see. And this one could be getting set back up again. It ran up, and it doesn't look too bad to try to set back up. And NAOV, let's see NAOV. That one's way down here. This one could be a good opportunity. Looks like it's up a little bit right now. So we'll have to watch for any pullback right here. But this looks like it's going to be getting set up. So NAOV looks like a pretty good one right there. See if it can get out of the basement. But regardless, it looks like it wants to run around. And NVVE, Nuve Holding. I was going to add an extra V to it there. But that one ran up. It does look like it's pulling back. And let's see, it does. We'll have to see what it does right here. It could come all the way down. Look at that 20 pushing it down there. So we will definitely have to look at that one, because if it gets pushed down, it would be a really good one. It'll take a nice dip. And this OKUR was running up last week, and it doesn't appear like it's getting out of the basement yet. And that's crazy. I thought it was going to get out of there, and it's hitting that basement top right there and kind of pulling back. We'll see if it's just working its way out. And that is that OKUR. And OMH, we were talking about this one last night, had that big old dip, and it is up a little bit this morning. It looks like OMH. And we'll see. That is Friday's date, and that's today's date right there at 165. It closed at, 150 last week, somewhere around there. So there you go at OMH, and we were talking about that. And this RBNE, that Robin Energy right here, it's just kind of hanging out now, not doing a whole lot, but we will be keeping an eye on it in the basement, fairly new, and could easily get cranked up there. So there you go with our laptop lowdowns. Oh, wait, there's a few more I didn't even notice. SGLY, hold on real quick. Singularity, I know this one. And this one's actually getting set up in a good spot. We got to keep an eye on SGLY right here. That could make a nice little curl up off that trend line. Yeah, it could off of that trend line right there. So we will have to look at SNGL or SGLY. I'm sorry, SGLY. We'll have to take a look at that one. And SUNE, SUNY, or Sun Nations. We'll call it Sun. And this one, Sun Nation Technology and Solar. And that is dipping. Somebody mentioned this last night. I remember we've traded this one a bunch of times. And there you go. It is down there. So we'll be keeping an eye because that was a good dip. And we'll see if it bases out in the basement and wants to get curled up there. And that would be a good one. And XFOR right here, X4 Pharmaceuticals. That one looks like it's going to be setting up to be try to get bullish right there, XFOR at the moment anyway. So let me just keep an eye on that one. You can see it trying to set up, but the 20 might be holding it down. So we'll have to look at that. And there you go with our laptop lowdowns. And there, so yeah, thank you, Laptop Travel. And that's what it looks like right there. That is our heat map. And let's take a look at our SPY, big cap, and everything else. And then I'll go through our messages. And good morning, everybody. David Lewis Rodriguez, how are you? And let's look at UNH. Let's see what it's doing this morning. There you go. It's up over 300. And we'll see. I don't know if it's exactly going to get out there. It could bounce back down a little bit and get set up, but it is up, that's for sure. So definitely play that option the right way. And yeah, it could easily be getting set up there, but nice little pop off that line, and we'll be taking a look at it. So I agree, that is nice right there, Luis Rodriguez. And let's see what else. I'll just go through them right now, and we'll see BCLI. Let's see what that's doing real quick. Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics, and that's in the top. Keep an eye on this. This looks like it's running up there and could keep some momentum today, guys. So keep an eye on that BCLI. And let's see Stellar Exhaustion on that UNH. Yeah. And then DMN, that one is today or tomorrow. I think isn't the thing tomorrow, but I think it was opening. I don't remember. But we'll have to look at it, and I think today might be its last day on NASDAQ. So if you have it, make sure you're taking a look at that one. It's moving to OTCs tomorrow, so thank you, David. And let's see, BCLI, they received FDA clearance to initiate phase 3B trial of something, new round or something for ALS. And NAOV was up 10.57% in the pre-market. We looked at that one. That was nice. And this OMH, that one we have been keeping an eye on right here, and we've been talking about that guy. So that was up like 10% in the pre-market too. And SUNE used to be our Pineapple Energy. That's what it was. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Laptop Travel, because I was trying to think. I was like, it wasn't called this before, but I'll go with it. It was Pineapple Energy, so that's what that one was. And HCTI, let's see what that's doing this morning right here, and then we'll go through our SPY and big caps. And HCTI was way down last week, and it is curling up there. Nice, it is up. It looks like, and let's see, it is just kind of hanging out at right around 1.5 cent right there, a little over that. And no, it's way over 0.011 there. And let's see, it does look like it's trying to make a base and curl up. I'll look at it today. It doesn't look bad this morning. I'll keep an eye on HCTI there, Larry, and we'll see what that's up to. Let's see what's going on over here, if anybody else is looking at anything. Let's see. I don't think I missed anything, but let's go ahead and go through our SPY and big caps and see what they're doing. And we thought it would be red this morning, and let's see what it's going to do anyway. Let's see here. Let me get the SPY in, and it is pulled back $6. And I'm telling you, it doesn't look terrible, but there is some good pullback in the future for it. You can see it, obviously. And so that's why you could tell it was getting a little topped out. But I'm telling you, it does not look bad. It could get cruising again today, try to get moving back into that top area, and then that's when you'll see some really good pullback. But that is a good pullback this morning, and we'll be keeping an eye on the SPY just to see what it wants to do. And Apple is down 319, and that bad boy is pulling back right there into the 20. AAPL, And that does not look bad either, right there, guys. I could see Apple getting set up, so it doesn't look terrible. And we'll be keeping an eye on Apple as well. Amazon right here, this one is pulling back a little bit, had run up, hit some resistance, so that might have to come back down and set back up, as you can see. And Google, that's the next one right here, and that was running up there. Let's see what Google's setup looks like right here. And it does look like it wants to pull back some. That's what it looked like on here, and then get that roll off. So we'll be watching Google to do that pull back, roll off. Meta right here is pulling back, and that one should pull back as well. And the video, I think I skipped Microsoft, but anyway, the video right here, they have earnings coming up at the end of the month, the 28th, which is what's today, the 19th, next Wednesday. So, and remember, it's a short week. That's going to be an interesting. Remember, I said earlier that's going to be a really important and big earnings. And look how big that's going to be at the end of the month now, with these things kind of pulling back here. And I have a feeling the video is going to go popping off of them earnings. But that's just what it looks like from here. And that's a week or so out. But there's the video right there. And it does look like it's going to pull back some, but we'll see how they set up. It should come back here and then get cranking for them earnings is what it looks like for me. And let's see what Microsoft is doing right here, MSFT. And obviously this has been in the top and it's still trying to hold on up there. So I'd be careful with it, but it is in the top right there and could jump up a little bit higher. And then Tesla's not down that bad, $12 after the Moody's cut. And it could pull back and roll off is what it looks like, but it's holding itself up way up here. So obviously if it comes back down, you'll get that roll off, and it's not going to pull back that hard at 337 right there. So that is Tesla, and it's not looking bad. And let's look at the rest of these big caps and other ones. And AMC was running up last week, little healthy pullback it looks like, so it can continue its way up. As you can see, it is set up right there. GameStop not looking bad either right here. And let's see, look, it's right there on that trend line. Well, it's got resistance right there. If it can get bouncing up, it'll be in good shape. Chewy's been running up. It's probably pulling back now. It was in the top, and it is. And you might see it try to bounce up a little higher, but I would be careful with Chewy. And then that Unity was trying to run up last week. It looks like it's pulling back a little bit at the moment. Let me see. And it is just pulling back a little bit at the moment. Nothing too crazy. And Netflix right here is down $19, but not bad. And like I said, these things don't look terrible, to be honest with you, but Netflix does look like it's going to be dipping down right there unless something crazy can happen. But it was run up to its all-time high, and you can see, but maybe it does try to curl back up. I guess if they get green real quick, it could curl it back up right there. And AVGO, let's see what these semiconductors are doing. They were in the top, and you can see them coming back down right here, and that's going to hit that trend line probably. And AVGO, yeah, it's the 20s right there, and it should roll back off, and you have good support right there, 213, and then 20 something right there with the 20. So that's AVGO and MU right here. Let's see what that looks like. That one also hit that resistance. So you are seeing some pullback on these. They did hit resistance, and we thought that they had run up. But MU does not look bad either. So I'm telling you, these things don't look terrible to try to run back up. TSM, a little healthy pullback, and wants to roll back up. SMCI still looks pretty good right there, I must say. SMCI, let's see. It's down $1.80, but like I said, it doesn't look terrible. It's holding itself up right there, and it does not look bad at the moment. So we're obviously going to be watching how these open up and see what the market's up to today. AMD, a little bit of pullback right there, and it still doesn't look terrible. So yeah, they could get turned right back around and start ripping into the top. QCOM looks like it wants to almost. QCOM looks like it wants to run up. And what the heck am I hitting there? QCOM right here. And yeah, I'm telling you, QCOM looks like it wants to get ripping again. So keep an eye on QCOM. INTC right here. Let's see what that's doing. Intel looks pretty good. Just a little bit of healthy pullback, but setting back up. And how about PayPal? Let's see. It was pulling back there, and it looks like it will pull back a little bit more just to roll off. Snow is looking really good before that's pulling back, coming out of the top. So we'll have to see. Actually, snow might be coming down a little bit right here to roll off and get set up. And again, they look like they want to get higher and go to their all-time highs already. So it is pretty wild. They erased all that big dippage and ran right back up like it was no big deal right here. And now they are trying to run back up. They'll pull back a little bit and try to move. And good old Dell is running up and still in the top right there. We'll have to take a look at Dell and see what it wants to do today. But again, they don't look bad right here. I'm telling you, PLTR, Palantir, that could easily roll off right there. And Sophie's been setting up, and that does look like it wants to roll off of that trend line right there. So that doesn't look bad either for Sophie, SOFI. And how about Marin Riot? I saw crypto was down a little bit, or Bitcoin was down a hair. And we'll take a look at that next. But there's Mara not looking bad. Riot still getting set up, a little bit of healthy pullback. Nothing bizarre right there. So they don't look bad. And how about Clean Spark? That one doesn't look bad. And of course, MicroStrategy. Here we go. And there you go with MicroStrategy. It is pulling back right there to the 20, but it still doesn't look bad as a matter of fact. So yeah, it's sitting on the 20, and then you even have great support down here at 334. I mean, that's a big dip, $60, but it's not the end of the world for MicroStrategy. And MST right here is that ETF. And like I said, we'll watch this thing, see where that bottom's going to be before it really starts rolling up. And they start paying dividends kind of soon. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. And how about Coinbase? That's down just a little bit. And it does look like it wants to pull back. And again, these things were at the top, but they could get running into the top a little bit more before you see that pullback, that good dip. And they will be doing it. Don't get me wrong. DJT down a little bit right there. And how about Fun? That is down 5 cents. And let's see what PHUN is doing right here. And it is trying to roll up there. It doesn't look bad. Let me see what DJT's doing. That one's pulling back, but Fun doesn't look bad right there. That could get rolling. So there you go with them. And let's see what our crypto is doing. Let me just make sure everything's all lined up right there. It does look like it. And I'm just waiting for it to come around with Bitcoin, get down to like 102 right there, 103. It's just bouncing around right now. And Ethereum's at 2,417 right there. Here they come. Yep. 2,411. And let's see, Solana's at 161. That's exactly what it says. Ripple's at 231. And let's see when Cardano pops up here. It'll be here soon on our stock cube right there. What's it say? 72 cents for ADA. And there you go for Cardano, 72 cents. That's what it does say. So there, that's the crypto look. And let's go ahead and look at them over here real fast. And that's what it looks like at the moment. We could do this every day real fast and make it, but I do like to use the stock cube. It's fun. So let's see what Bitcoin's doing at 103. And there's our numbers. We were just looking at. Solana's down, but Bitcoin, let's see here. And let's go into the interactive so we get our RSI and MACD. And we do have some pullback. Like I said, though, it does look like it's trying to base out at that 100,000. And I kept saying it did look like it before. And that's what it appears like it's trying to do. You see that pullback, but it's holding itself up. So we'll be watching to see what it wants to do. And here's Solana right here. And that is pulling back as well. Made some good room, came down to the 20. Could come down to the 200 at 143. You could see that happen right there. And Ethereum is trying to bounce back up, but we'll see what it wants to do. And again, these things were in the top, came out, and they do want to run up a little higher. We will have that pullback, but they are running up without a problem. Ripple's still looking pretty good right there, 231, and it's a little bit of pullback. it kind of ran up there, but you're going to see it set back up and run higher right there. And Doge, let's see what Doge is at. And that is at 21 cents and trying to push toward, it was trying to push over that, like, what was the high right there the other day? I forget. Where is the price at? Holy cow, where did it even go? There it is. 20, almost 26 cents. I couldn't remember. But yeah, it almost got to 26, pulling back, but they are making a nice base. I'm telling you, to try to get cruising again. And here's Chainlink, and that's at 15.17 and not looking bad as it pulls back. So we'll be keeping an eye on crypto as well, but there's some pullback, and obviously there's our heat map. It is red, but I'm telling you, the SPY in them SPY doesn't look bad at all, guys. It does need to pull back, don't get me wrong, but today it does not look bad after that Moody's. That was just a reaction, so we'll see how it opens up. Or it's going to open up red. We'll see how it runs as it gets to the afternoon is what I was thinking. And so yeah, it does not look terrible. UNH is way up right there. You can see we were talking about it, and it's up 1668, bouncing up. And let's see what's that RGTI doing. It's down a little bit, but I'm telling you what, this thing looks like it's trying to get set up as well this morning. RGTI looking pretty good. I'd keep an eye on that. I know that when we look at Holo, that was trying to get set up. I just know that the other day. And let's look at our logic mark real quick and see what that's doing. That doesn't look bad right there. Let me see LG. Oh, let me see. LGMK right here, and it does not look terrible. It's trying to crawl up, and we could get that run sooner than later. I mean, well, it's pretty late now, but we could get that run. It's right there where it should try. I mean, it was right there the last 2 trading days, Thursday, Friday, but it doesn't look bad this morning, guys. So keep an eye on that logic mark right there. And how about Green Lane? And that one is up a little bit there. And let's see if that's today. It doesn't look too bad, but I mean, it does look better. It's trying to crawl up. I don't know if it's ready to get blasting off, but it does look a little bit better. I'll say that. So I'm not sure. They reverse split. I don't even remember what they're doing, to be completely honest. But there is that Green Lane. Excuse me. And there you go with that one. And PCT, that one's just kind of hanging out. Doesn't look bad if it's trying to hop into the top. Estee Lauder down a little bit, but that still doesn't look bad as well. And that Rocket Lab, what's that up to? That is pulled back a little bit. And ARM, that one's pulled down. That's why you have to get rid of them bad boys when they're up like that, because especially in an option type play, because you lose your time and you don't want to mess around with it. And this BON is reverse splitting today, and it looks like it's going to reverse split today, and it looks like that's the price, because I don't think it was that high. I think it was way lower than that. So we'll keep an eye on BON. I don't really 135 was it that? I don't remember what the heck it was even at, to be completely honest with you. But it is reverse splitting. I do remember that one. BON is reverse splitting. And MLGO right here was trying to get set up, another China play right here, and it is curling up. So keep an eye. It looks like Friday, or let me look and see what day that was. But yeah, that looks like it did try to bottom out. It's trying to bottom and curl. So keep an eye on that MLGO. That is not looking bad. And how about that UOKA? This thing runs around like crazy right there. And let's see what else. And GRYP could be pulling back. Still doesn't look bad right there. And that's the Trump crypto family thing or whatever. And Adobe was looking pretty good if I figure out what it is. It is ADBE. There it is. And ADBE, Adobe, not looking bad, down a little bit. Still in the top. Looks like it wants to run up there a little bit more. And this FNGD was looking good last night. It is crawled up, but again, I don't think it's getting through just yet. So I believe that they are still trying to get set up right here. I just don't think that the bear market's going to hit it yet, but you can see this thing's going to run fairly soon. That could have been its bottom, and now it's getting set up, a small little bounce off. So I don't think the market looks terrible today, but it is going to take a nice dip pretty soon. So be prepared for it, that's for sure. And let's look at gold, Barrick Gold right here, B, and let's see what it's doing. It is trying to jump up right there, but again, I don't think it's exactly ready just yet. So there you go with Barrick Mining, and we will be keeping an eye on all these, but that's what they look like. And they again, they don't, it doesn't look terrible, the market. Gold trying to bounce up here. It is up this morning, as you can see, 2%. Good trade right there, but I don't think it's exactly ready. Could it curl up a little bit? It could, but that 20 is going to push it down. That's when it's going to come get it and make it good, and it's just not ready yet. Let's go through the scanner, see what else is going on. Let me see, did I miss anything? We like QBTS. Let's take a look at QBTS. That's a D wave, and that's up there this morning. It's in the top, so that's going to be a momentum runner. And QUBT right here, that had run up. It still doesn't look bad. QMCO hasn't run yet, guys. It's down 25 cents. But take a look at this one, because this is another one that usually runs with them and just never took off. And look at it. It looks like it wants to right there, that Quantum Corporation. Excuse me. And has a lot of room in front of it, so take a look at it. If it gets into that channel right there, it can get moving. So I would be watching QMCO. It didn't seem to run like the rest of them, because a lot of the other ones, QTUM, that Defiance ETF, is way up there. It was in the top. And IONQ we looked at last week, and that was running up a little pullback right there. And ZSPC, this one hadn't run either. It was still down there. And how about that RCAT was moving up last week, a little healthy pullback. So there you go. And what's the Lion doing right here? LGHL. And there's your Lion. It is trying to get set up still. And it just didn't get rolling, really. It was trying to get set up. And I think we have to wait for it to get into the channel. But it looks a little better to try to roll up there. So that doesn't look bad. How about the Cheetah? And that's just kind of hanging out. Had some little run up, and then now it looks like it's a little healthy pullback. But the Cheetah could be getting set up right there, so we'll keep an eye on that. As you can see, that looking pretty good. And that JAGX is down there. I know it recently ran up, and it's just going to be curling up and probably bouncing back down. So that's what that looks like. And let's see. Let me see what else I missed here. Let me take a look. I'm just trying to cruise through. Trump's going to tell Moody's you're fired. You're not kidding. And Halo bouncing back nicely. Let's see that one. HALO. Oh, HALO. There we go. Halo. Yeah, that is bouncing back pretty well right there. Luis Rodriguez, I must say. So let's keep an eye on that. You'll get that nice curl up. Could run up a little bit more today, as a matter of fact. And oh yeah, NETF. We'll go through that. It is at like 3.8. I'm telling you, I think these things are down at their bottoms, and you're going to see alt season get cruising, guys. So that's what I think's about to happen. It's at 3.9 right now, and it is way down there. I have to agree. It needs to move, but I do really think that these things are going to get cruising again, and you're just seeing a setup period come up, and again, Bitcoin and them bad boys are going to take that pullback. They're all the way up at the top, but they're making a nice base. And I think that's when everything starts getting cruising. So we were already looking at that, and you can see how they're already up at that top, but they're making good bases, just trying to pull back so they can get ripping. And I think you're about to see the season start. And this is that last dip on these. And remember, I thought around the summertime they'd start cruising. So that could be that really nice last opportunity right there. I'll be watching that one. So, of course, and Bitcoin made a run and then faded in the beginning at 8 p.m. And, yeah, I'm telling you, they're all up to the top. They're going to have to pull back. They're just trying to make them bases. And Coin is a slam dunk purchase. I know I made a speech a while back on Spaces about Coinbase, and yes, you did. And it did run up pretty well. And let's see, I would let it pull back a little bit, but it is getting set up right around here. So that is going to be pretty solid, I would say. And let's see. And then it joined the, what else did it do? And then, yeah, the BTC holdings, plus it joined the S&P 500. Now, HCTI making another run right here. Let's see what it's doing right there. Oh, wow. There you go. HCTI, a healthcare triangle one. HCTI. And there you go. It's way down there trying to make a run up. So keep an eye on that thing, because you can see it's way down here. and it could get curled up, and it's already over 100% right there. HCTI, and we looked at QBTS, and is there any more? There could be a little more in that HCTI. Keep an eye on that thing, and BCLI brainstorm, and that one could run around today as well. So keep an eye on both of them. CVCV to that laptop travel throughout right there. Good momentum plays for today and not looking bad at the moment. So definitely keep an eye. And like I said, the SPY and stuff doesn't even look bad. So it is down, but it doesn't look terrible. I have to say that. So a little bit of pullback as it hit that top, and it could easily get cruising. Maybe it doesn't run up crazy today, but it gets set back up for this week. So, and then no problem, CVCV, and then like I said, next week is a short week. You could see some nice pullback there. That's the time to do it when you have them short weeks going into it. It's a holiday week. You could see it pulling back. So maybe we see the SPY and these things run up a little more and then take that big pullback. So just beware and be ready for it. And we'll be watching it. And like I said, we were keeping an eye on gold and all. It is up this morning, but it's, curling up, but it's not ready to really get flying yet. So we'll be watching all of these guys. And let's see, VOR, what was this doing? It was getting to be in a good spot right here. So keep an eye on this thing, VOR. And it is, let's see what it's doing this morning. It's just kind of hanging out, but that is a pretty good setup right there. And let's see what else. INM. Let's see this one right here. And a little healthy pullback curling through, nothing too crazy. So INM. Yeah, that one's looking pretty good to try to roll up, so keep an eye on that one. And there's our SPY and our heat map, and that's what it looks like this morning. And let me see what else is going on real quick. And let's see the Moody's right there. So we have the 3 TS. I'll tweet that out right there. And True Golf, how are you, Barbara, this morning? Let's see what True Golf's doing, if it's ready to get teed off here. And we were talking about it last night, and it's getting to be in a pretty good spot. A little bit of healthy pullback, nothing crazy. And it was running up the other day, curling up. Yeah, I would keep an eye on TRUG. I think that's trying to get ready, and it'll get right on that spot there and get popping up. So definitely keep an eye on that True Golf today. I did forget about that from last night. And I was, like I said, I was talking to Stock Authority about that one on Friday. And I was saying we had already hit that bad boy for over 100%. And it was setting up again. And let's just see what's going on real quick. Obviously, the credit grading and Sell America is back after U.S. loses its top credit rating. Stocks and bonds slide in retreat from the U.S. assets. And the Dow futures dropped nearly 300 points as yield spike on U.S. debt downgrade. And this veteran investor crunches the numbers and sees the risk of a full-blown bear market. So we're going to have a pullback, no doubt about it. You're going to see it happen. And then, Trump's going to get that thing trying to roll again. And then that'll be basically that last pullback before it really gets cruising. So, and like we talk about the midterms coming up and all that good stuff, let's just see what's going on over here. And we play the market day by day and kind of know what's going on. So it's not the end of the world. That PLR to Z, keep an eye on this Poly Rising. Big dip it took, and now see if it just gets a little bit of a run up. Let's see what it's doing down here. PLRZ, and yeah, it's way down there, so you should start to see it try to curl up in that NCNA we were talking about. That's up a little bit. There's your green lane up a little, and this HKPD, this was looking good last week, and there you go. That one ran up. Remember this guy that we said was going to get set up, and there's that run up. That's a nice one right there, HKPD. And this HKD looked pretty good last week as well. Look at this thing getting set up, and this is very similar to that one. This one's that one that ran like $2,000 to $2,000 when it opened, and it is getting set up again. So you might want to keep an eye on HKD. We might add that to the list. And Soxel coming down. That's the semiconductor bull ETF, and there's that CGBS right there. let's take a quick look at this one, CGTL. Let me see what that's doing real quick. Well, I'll go right through these real fast. That move, IXHL pulling back some. That one went up and then got destroyed. Logic Mark not looking bad, so we're keeping an eye on that. And Interactive Strength right there. And like I said, let me just take a quick look at this one. And it is CGTL. It was trying to get set up right here. And this is one of them Hong Kong ones. And this one's been running up since we mentioned it. And it is not looking bad right there, CGTL. It's a little bit right there. It could get cruising. So keep an eye on it. But it has been rolling up there since we mentioned it. I swear, I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. And let's see what's going on with anything else. And on this side, let's see. HKPD right there. We were just talking about it. And that's a GRNQ. This one we had mentioned. It's in the top. Maybe you get a little bounce back up. And that's about it going on right there. Let me see if I'm missing anything over here. And then we'll be pretty good. But yeah, ETF 500, definitely 3.9 way down there. That's for sure. That's a big old dip. Wasn't even expecting it to come down that far. And it is. So I might have to grab a little bit more, that, because it is a good price down there. That's what I like to see. And let's see, NVAX. Let's see what that's doing. Up $1, trying to cruise around. Keep an eye on that one. And UNH, we knew that one was moving. And what's ZIM? Not even sure. Zim Integrated. And this one's trying to cruise up there. And it has earnings today. So you keep an eye on that if you like earnings. And what Cold and Boyle are switching around a little bit. We nailed that one perfect. I mean, Boyle went up to like $100. And we nailed that thing at the bottom right before it went up right there. We were saying it was getting bullish, and it sure did. I was saying Boyle's getting hot and cold cold is getting cold right there. And that was exactly what happened. Now they're switching around a little bit right there. But yeah, Boyle's way down. TXNM right here. TXNM Energy popping up. And again, these energy ones could get cruising. And there's your quantum computing QUBT. And that one could be pulling back. It was way up there. And this CRWV right here. CoreWeave. And this one's in the top, but just be careful with that. So, yeah, and that QMCO is looking a little wild right here. So keep an eye, because all them quantum ones ran up. And this one's just hanging out, trying to get set up here. I don't know what it's taking its time for, but it did grab my attention. You can see that setting up. So keep an eye on that. And there you go with them bad boys. And let's see what else is going on. I just X'd out. Yeah, hold on one second. I thought I did something crazy here. Let me do that. And there we go. That's better. All right, there we are. I'm hit a new chart and it would have messed it all up. But anyway, that's what the market looks like. I think that's a pretty good pre-market review for a Monday morning. And there's our red market we were expecting to see this morning. So nothing crazy. And the SPY is pulling back a little bit. And I'm telling you, it still doesn't look that bad. I know it is pulling back on the credit rating score. And you can see it opened exactly where it's at right now. So it's jumping around, that's for sure. We could see some nice pullback there and then roll back up. So we'll be watching this thing to see exactly what it wants to do as it starts to move. And I'll keep you guys posted. XLO, let's see what that's doing right now. That one's running around. Remember, that ran up pretty big the other day. And let's see what XLO is up to right there. And that is jumping up 93. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad, I must say, Barb. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on XLO right there. Thank you for that one. And good eye on there. And there you go. I would say we'll leave it with that. It's not looking too bad. Gold's up, but I'm not, like I said, I don't think it's going to be crazy. Gold is running up there right now. So, and we could see it running up today. You can see them curling up. So you could see them, obviously, and that SPY come back down a little bit, but it should roll back up and then get cruising again. So I mean, it is red. It doesn't look terrible though. but we are going to see that big dippage coming. I just don't know if it's right at this moment. It looks like these things are going to pull back some and then try to run back up a little bit at the moment. So I'll be keeping an eye on it as it tries to open and keep you guys posted. And the small cap show is at 1 o'clock today, so be sure to tune in. I'll post that out, the link and everything. So check it out. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. On this Monday morning, and all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And so trade smart, lock in those profits. Thanks again for tuning in. And be sure to have a great day. Goodbye. Good luck. I'll see you guys later, and I'll keep you guys posted and let me know if you want to see anything. And have a great day, everybody.